Hey, welcome to Task Force Geeks. Spoiler alert. Today we're going to be talking about what if Ultron won? Wow, this was a pretty crazy episode, guys.
Yeah.
Very, as they say, it was bonkers.
It was
Seriously bonkers.
bananas. Bananas.
It was nanners.
The first thing I want to say is Walt was right. Walt predicted back in about episode 2 that these would be connected somehow.
Yep, he did.
By the end, and at the end of the last episode, we got a little, kind of a we got kind of an idea that things were connected, perhaps, and then obviously in this episode they played into that very heavily. And clearly in the next episode as well, they're going to be connected. The last 3 episodes are directly connected, and some of the earlier episodes are also connected. So, hey, what do you know? We have they're still playing around with like individual things, but who knows what team Uatu will put together, but you have to think that maybe the team will be some of the people that we've been saying, like maybe we get Captain Carter back again, for example. Maybe we get the jacked up Guardians. And
I kind of get I kind of get the feeling that it may be a cliffhanger because this season was originally supposed to be 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Really? And they bumped the 10th episode to the second season.
Maybe this is a case where they saw the potential with this thing and said we got to have another season.
No, it was the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Well,
really?
Well, besides that, yeah. I thought
I'm just saying,
they announced earlier that we were getting a second season of this.
Oh no, we are getting a second season, but the first season was originally going to be 10 episodes. And because of COVID, they weren't able to complete the 10th episode in time, so they bumped it to the second season.
Hey, if you haven't seen What If episode 8, What If Ultron won, you should probably get the heck off of here. Go do something else. Go hang around with other people, and then come back and hang out with us later.
Ice Cream Man is the ice cream is coming. Go look out the window. Check right now.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Hey, here's Brendan. He said he watched it on time. Well, welcome, Brendan. Very cool. Right. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is super awesome. Let me take a drink of this coffee so I can wake up.
Coffee. I'm so glad. Speaking of coffee, I'm so glad that I just happened to run out on National Coffee Day. So I had my last cup of coffee I had it yesterday. My last cup of coffee. I will probably not be drinking coffee for the remainder of the year.
Why?
What?
We got some. We got to cut down on some spending.
All right, I understand. I would probably cut down on everything else before coffee.
Oh, I can actually live without coffee, so
I cannot.
Crashed in the living room.
I cannot. I will talk a little bit about Brendan later on. I will talk about Brendan later on around the end of the show.
Okay,
I'll be right back. I need to go see what my cat just destroyed.
All right. live broadcast, folks. Let's go to you then, Walt, and tell me what your overall impression of this episode was.
This episode was. I find this episode was pretty good. I like this episode. I kind of had. I won't say I had a feeling that this is where it was going to go, but for the longest I was trying to figure out who was the armored character in the posters.
Yes.
And because you couldn't see the face or anything like that.
They did not reveal that. That's
to find out that it was Ultron, and not just Ultron, but Ultron in the Vision outfit.
How about that?
That was cool. And then Ultron getting hold of the Infinity Stones.
That's next level.
that's totally next level. So
Clearly.
and if you recall, I remember mentioning this. I think I mentioned this last week that I was thinking of the Capcom versus Marvel video game, which has a combo of
Yes.
Ultron and a Capcom villain, and
Okay.
and
Maybe
they both have the Infinity Stones. The Infinity Stones are a big part of the game. So
maybe that put that idea in some people's minds. You know what's interesting about Ultron is that the second Avengers movie was kind of looked at as a disappointment. People really didn't like the characterization of Ultron. Ultron in the comics has consistently been a very tough, very interesting character, and most people who are fans of the comic kind of feel like they did him wrong. Like we didn't get the real crazy ass level of butt kicking that you usually get with Ultron.
right.
And part of that, and by the way, you can blame a little bit of that maybe on James Spader because he played it, and it maybe not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was the director, Whedon, who asked him to play it for laughs.
I would say it was more Whedon than anything.
Could have been.
I would also say,
and by the way,
story.
I am a fan of Whedon. I'm a fan of James Spader. Certainly not casting stones at these people. It's just you make some decisions in the process of how you're going to portray stuff. And in this case, this was a miss. I think the original version of Ultron, I think, was a miss as far as being like a menacing, problem for the Avengers.
I think the mistake was titling the movie Age of Ultron, because that's right after a storyline called Age of Ultron, and it was nothing like that storyline, Age of Ultron. Like Civil War had elements of the original Civil War comic
Not
story.
Anywhere near as massive as the original. Civil War
it wasn't as
storyline.
massive as the original series, because you couldn't have made it that. It couldn't have been that massive.
No, they didn't have that many characters at the time.
Right.
They're doing better now, but
Age of Ultron had to do with time travel. So we're actually getting to see a better adaptation of Age of Ultron, of the actual comic story of Age of Ultron.
That's kind of my point, is that we're getting a little bit of a redemption of that character.
Right.
By showing what he's capable of doing. This is much more like what I expected from Ultron.
Right.
For sure.
Redemption, but okay, we can go with this.
Well, redemption in him being a little bit more like the way that I would picture him.
Yeah. More of a threat.
Right.
Yeah. Beth, what did you think about this episode?
This episode made me do this.
Yeah.
As I was watching it last night. And Dan had gone to bed, so I was actually sitting in here watching it. Hey, Mom.
Welcome.
So I was sitting in here watching it and trying very hard to be quiet, because I was just like, oh, this is not good on any level.
Yeah.
I appreciated how they did the episode. I appreciated the story arc in it, and again seeing this version of Ultron. The Age of Ultron movie, part of the problem with that movie was we had too many characters introduced all at once. Because that was the movie that we also got, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Ultimately, we also get Vision, and there was just so much going on in that movie that I just don't think we were able to get
a little like Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Let's expand the universe.
There wasn't quite enough build out in the movie, which we're starting to see now. We're starting to see the build out.
One-shotting Thanos, that definitely
great.
Lays it out what's happening. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Right.
That definitely shows the power level right there.
Yeah.
People love, oh my God, Quora will crap their pants over this episode. They will be now all the questions, 46,000 questions on quarrel will be, what about, Ultron? Can Ultron defeat, whatever?
Can Ultron defeat so and so?
Can
so and so defeat Ultron?
Can
And so
Ultron
their brains are
defeat
about
a
to
Super
explode.
Saiyan Superman? Or
Yeah.
right.
Can
But
Ultron
overall-
defeat Squirrel Girl
Although-
with her hand tied behind her back?
Although it would be fun to see Super Saiyan God versus Ultron. That would be kind of cool.
But I did enjoy this
People have
episode.
too
I
much
thought
time.
this one was really good.
I contend that Aunt May can defeat anyone in the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
All she needs to do is bake brownies. That's it.
and
All she has to do is just be, written by someone who wants Aunt May to win. That's my point. Is that anyone, literally
Anyone
anyone,
can be
Groot
anyone.
can defeat anyone in the Marvel Universe if you want him to. If you're writing the story and you want Groot to win the battle, you can do that. I mean, it's just that simple.
This is
maybe
why
T'Challa just needs to have a sit down with him.
It's fiction, folks.
right.
It's fiction.
We saw how well that worked with Thanos. So yeah, let's just set T'Challa on him, and we're gonna have Ultron, pondering the universe here.
What's Maxine wondering about?
What are you questioning, Mom?
Yeah, we got to have more information.
Yeah.
More information, please. My thought on this is the first thing I thought is, hey, Walt was right.
Yeah, same here.
That this thing is all crossing over. I thought that was really amazing. I also think that they are now fully getting into preparing you for the next crazy ass movies that are coming up. I mean, they even said there's a line in there where they said it's the multiverse, anything can happen. Look, ultimately, what If is doing is preparing you bit by bit. Also, Loki did this as well. Scarlet Witch did this as well.
Mm-hmm.
The WandaVision did this. It is just saying, prepare yourself for some crazy stuff that's going to be coming down the line, because once we get into the multiverse, literally anything can happen.
Yep.
So, and that's exciting to me. I said back during the Doctor Strange thing that I would very much like to see that character again. And I even proposed maybe he shows up in one of the movies. Maybe we get, Crazy Town Doctor Strange showing up, in one of the movies or one of the television series. Obviously, we're getting him right back in the series. And there may not be any crossovers, but by God, there are some really cool characters and situations that they've created here, and this is current continuity.
Yeah.
With the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so who knows?
I liked the juxtaposition of, instead of it being Nat that we lose in this episode, we lose Hawkeye instead.
Yes, they mirrored that scene absolutely.
They did.
We're going to talk. I'll save my comment on this for a second. Maxine says she's totally lost, and I have to say, people who don't follow this like we do, are probably a little lost on this, on some of this stuff, because now we're way off into Crazy Town.
Yeah,
I mean, like Ultron is punching Uatu through different worlds,
multiverses, different universes.
I mean, he's like punching him through different worlds.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. Which
is super awesome, but also super confusing.
Yeah, when he's got him on the ground, and crazier than this one. When he's got him on the ground and he's punching him, and each time he's punching him, the universe is changing.
You got scrolls that are hanging out in Wakanda.
No. You had scrolls. They're still in New York City.
The Skrull universe. New York City,
they start off in New York City, and you see Steve Rogers accepting the oath of office. He's the president,
which is
that's a comic book thing. That's an Easter egg. And then he punches him again, and you see nothing but scrolls. So that means in this particular universe, the scrolls took over the Earth. Punches him again, you get
Secret Wars.
You get Wakandans.
You get Wakandans.
And there's a Marvel universe where, world colonization is flipped. So And they covered this in the New Warriors, where the Africans colonized the rest of the world, and everybody else was, held hostage, so to speak. So, and that just like I was sitting there and I'm just getting giddy every time they were going through all these different worlds.
The Easter eggs were insane. I have to admit, the one though of Steve taking the oath of office, that's the one that made me squeal.
There's so many Easter eggs in this thing, and honestly, I looked at 2 different articles on this subject, because they catch stuff that things. They go through these things, and they will freeze a frame to figure out, what they're giving us there and stuff. But even they didn't catch as many crazy things as I saw just watching it, as a fan last night. So it's pretty crazy. The thing that I want to talk about is when. This is one of the, earlier episodes. I made a big deal out of the fact that you had some very heavy hitters, some really big actors who are very busy that were showing up for this episode. On episode 8, this was mostly people doing the characters. So almost all of
originals.
All of the, people who are kind of the major characters in this were voiced by someone else. Ironically, I thought the guy who was doing Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye was not so good. I thought, some of these other guys are great, but the guy who's doing Jeremy Renner is a little off.
Apparently, Jeremy Renner had an off day that day.
As it turns out, that was Jeremy Renner.
Right.
So it also goes to show you that sometimes it's difficult to pick up on whether, at least for me, it's a little difficult to pick up on whether the real person was involved there. But at one point I thought, they don't have any of them, and it doesn't matter. It was very cool, but this was the rare case where a lot of the people who were doing the voices were not the big actors. Scarlett Johansson wasn't involved in this. Bettany was not involved. Ironically,
just to list the 3 that were.
Well, technically, Bettany wouldn't have been involved anyway because it's not Vision.
Well, because it was okay. Well, the reason why I say that is because the guy who is doing this thing, who's doing what they called Vision / Ultron was a name. He's an act. Like I saw the name and it's like I know that guy. So I looked him up, and he's been doing apparently a lot of voice roles, but he's a regular in the Walking Dead series. Which is like, oh, okay, that's very interesting.
I wonder if it's the guy who did who revised the Red Skull for.
Oh, Ross Marquand.
He is, and he also played the Red Skull in both Endgame and Infinity War. So that is a good catch.
Yeah,
it is that guy.
He came into it's Ross Marquand. He came into.
He is good.
He came into Walking Dead 3rd or 4th season. I can't think of the character.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
He's really good with the voices. He's really good with the voices.
Well, apparently he is, and it's not just in this. He's doing voices for a lot of things. He's become kind of a go-to voice actor for stuff. And I thought he did pretty good here. Although he didn't really nail, if he was doing James Spader, he didn't really nail James Spader.
Yeah,
he plays Aaron in The Walking Dead.
There you go.
For those of you who want to know.
There you go. For those
of you playing,
everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Everyone wants to know.
And this is the place to find out.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, or at least one of the places.
Hey, Sean. He says that was his favorite episode so far. I still think I'm going to give it. I don't know. My favorite episode was the one with Doctor Strange. I just thought it was just really.
I think that
cool.
one's the number one, and
I feel like that's maybe still my favorite. But this one
this one's a close
really. I mean,
close second.
I got like, when those two are fighting, you don't know what's going to happen. Uatu and
when
Ultron.
Uatu starts fighting, it's like that Yoda moment.
Yeah, right.
From Clone Wars.
Does anyone know if Uatu has fought in the comics? Or is this something that they kind of created for this?
I want to say maybe so, I think. A little? But I don't think it was anything like what we saw. I think it was more use of the Kirby crackle and all that stuff. So
yeah.
which
Right.
which I love the use of the crackle in this episode.
They said he has like telekinesis and some other stuff. Apparently, this wasn't too far off. But I've never seen him like punch people.
Right.
It's
Right.
the Watcher.
Right.
He watches.
He watches, yeah.
And apparently he learns.
But
from
here's
watching.
here's the thing that I'm thinking now. Is it possible that the Watcher, since he's learning now to interfere with stuff, is there any possibility that we get the Watcher in the movies where he comes out and he warns about Kang or Galactus or something? He taps the Fantastic Four on the. Because that's in the original comics, that's what he did.
Yeah.
He came and told Reed Richards, "Hey, by the way, Galactus is coming.
Right.
You should gird your loins."
It's funny you should mention that because going back to Ultron, and you mentioned Kang. There have been instances where Kang came in to team up with the Avengers to defeat Ultron in the comics. So Kang and Ultron have battled one another.
True. Kang is yet another character like Doctor Doom that in one set of circumstances could be your most dire enemy, and another set of circumstances could be your greatest ally.
Right.
Which makes for an interesting character, I think.
Right.
We haven't had a lot of that, and I would like to see more of that. Anyway, Sean, I mean, this could be my favorite episode if it hadn't been for just how dark and weird that Doctor Strange thing was.
It was sad, and I don't know why, but
it was sad.
The sadness of it makes it my favorite episode.
It affected me. It affected me. Maxine says that she's going to she'll pay more attention to Walt's comics. You say that, but
most of them are still there. So
right.
Mom's gonna go Rage Comics.
This next comic that he's doing, you may or may not be interested in.
Oh no, she's talking about the ones that I bought and everything. I don't know.
All right.
She's not talking
about your comic.
No, she's talking about my collection.
All right, I'm getting ahead of the headline.
You're getting ahead of the game there.
I am.
Slow down.
So, passive aggressive films. He just subdues people usually.
I love that name, by the way.
That is
pretty great. It's pretty great.
I'm just going to gently put this movie on you, force you to watch this film. I love that idea.
Is passive aggressive film someone we know?
I don't know.
Any chance?
If not, I'm glad that you're here watching us.
Yes.
Ryan Smith yesterday proposed something, and Beth followed up on it. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Brenda's going to tell us it is Ryan.
Okay.
So it is Ryan. You know, I was saying that, you know, Ryan's welcome. He's always welcome on the show. His thing was that the moment where we get Captain Marvel, who comes to save the day, which is, you know, usually exactly what you would expect. That they missed an opportunity to show the Nova Corps doing what the Nova Corps does, which is, you know, attack galactic threats.
Yes.
What do you two think about that? Do you think that maybe they should have used this as an opportunity to show the Nova Corps do what they do? Or do you think that we needed some more Captain Marvel?
I got a feeling what's going to end up happening is since we've never seen the Nova Corps the way we want to see the Nova Corps.
Right. Yeah. We had, what's his name, Riley represent. Right. I mean, we didn't get Nova.
John C. Riley. I have a feeling that we're going to get the Nova Corps as we know it as a result of what happened with Thanos.
Okay.
So, you know, because they never mentioned.
I'm a big fan of Nova.
I am too.
Yeah.
The character Nova, and have been since the 80s.
Because I'm going to tell you this: when I play Marvel versus Capcom, I always team up Nova and Captain Marvel. Those are the two characters I play.
Yeah.
Nova and Captain Marvel. They're the two most powerful players or characters in the game, and those are the ones that I always choose. I always Nova, Captain Marvel.
I
Right.
don't think we've seen enough Nova either throughout
We
the
haven't.
MCU so far. I mean, there's so much more to this character, and a lot of people probably aren't even sure who Nova is yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says
Yeah.
that they haven't shown proper Centurions, such as with Nova. Rich Rider is a major character that I love,
Yeah.
and I agree. Look, I picked up the Nova comic, like I said, back in the '80s. That was a character that I glommed onto. If you're into, I mean, look, the space stuff in the MCU is being built out by two people who are pretty amazing. You got James Gunn that's doing space stuff, and you got Taika Waititi. They, as far as I'm concerned, their heaviest hitters are dealing with the space stuff.
Yeah.
I wish that we had more movies from those guys, because everything they touch is gold, and they both understand that kind of space universe stuff. And that's wherever Nova comes from, or what's his name, the guy that they hinted at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Warlock.
Adam Warlock. Yeah.
Those are two major players that we still haven't had introduced into the MCU. Maybe we're looking at the next phase before we get that.
I know Nova's on the movie list. So like I said, I think this is just because we haven't really seen that particular Nova Corps. We've seen them in the ships and everything, but we haven't seen
seen the actual Nova Corps that
Right.
And that's what Sean is saying here. It says, since the general public isn't as familiar with Nova Corps, it would be too much for audiences. Probably they probably don't want to get ahead of the two people that I just mentioned there,
Right.
introducing the Nova Corps in What If. But I mean, this is also, I don't know. I agree that I would have loved to have seen that, but most people probably expected Captain. It's like, where's Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
She's supposed to get out there and save the day.
I'm fine without them, not introducing the Nova Corps. I don't think What If is the proper vehicle to
I think you're
introduce
probably
them.
right.
No, it's not. Agreed.
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Exactly.
Ironically, the Green Lantern, they've been tiptoeing around the Green Lantern, in the DCEU as well.
Yeah.
We got.
I mean, they've been expecting Green Lantern to show up in the CW, hasn't happened, and all this other
for whatever
stuff,
reason. Look, they got burned with that film, and they are very they're very
scared,
cautious.
Very scared.
Scared.
They certainly are.
They scared.
Yep, I think that's for sure. Let's get into some stuff here. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second while I try to.
It's called.
do this.
What is it? It's called Wormer. The background when you're in cartoons and people are walking through crowds and Wormer.
In fight scenes for like pendant audio, it's called Wallace. Walla 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 walla.
Wormer. And then you have some glasses.
You guys are
clinking.
very helpful.
You have some glasses
You're
clinking.
welcome. What, did you expect anything less? I mean, seriously, man, come on.
We get to see the cloaking device here.
I loved that invisibility cloak. Oh
That was-
my
that
god,
was
that
cool.
was
Get out of here.
awesome. Yeah.
What is my cursor doing? Hello. Here we go. So we see Hawkeye show up with a cloaking device, which is pretty cool. It's like, I would like for Hawkeye to have a cloaking device. That would kind of, everyone talks about how his power level's not enough for people.
Here's my thing with Hawkeye. He goes from this scene where he's holding an arrow and stabbing these guys, and then by the end of the episode, he has more arrows again. Could somebody tell me where
the arrows came from?
Where did the
He
arrows
has like
miraculously come from?
Back in Dungeons and Dragons, they had a thing called a bag of holding, and it's like a
Apparently
kind of
he
like a
has
black
one.
hole that you
Yes.
you put your hand into, and you can pull stuff out of the it's like a pocket universe that you
Apparently
can put
Hawkeye
things
has
into.
one.
I think that it's
Maybe-
just like in a John Woo film where you don't
Run out of
you know,
bullets?
you don't run out of bullets until it's cool.
Until it's cool to run out of bullets. Yeah.
It's like you do something really spectacular and you pause for effect, and that's where you eject your
Maybe-
magazine, and cock the gun again.
Maybe that quiver is has some sort of nanotechnology and just reproduces arrows. He just uses them faster than it can reproduce them. So by the time he got back into there's more arrows.
There's more out.
Yeah, these two are the sole survivors here, which is those two again are great together. I think that's pretty awesome. The line about seeing a suit of armor around the world, that's directly from the Age of Ultron there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
When the Watcher talks about the Vision being created, Natasha's standing with the other Avengers, but in the Age of Ultron, Nat wasn't there because she was captured. Wanda and Pietro were there instead. There you go.
Yep.
So there's a little difference. Tony Stark dies. Again. So look,
and so does the Hulk, and so does
look, folks.
Thor.
Tony Stark is going to die. That's a fixed point. It's going to happen. There it is.
Fixed point. That's it. You can't change the fixed point.
Spoiler alert: Tony Stark dies again. For Casey Jane,
he dies.
Who
again.
was behind on all of those things, and we didn't tell her that Tony Stark died in Endgame. Oh, spoiler alert.
I'm beginning to think Tony's like, Gallifreyan. He regenerates and then just dies.
Yeah.
Regenerates and then just dies.
Get some more Ross. We get a lot of Ross.
We did
Ross,
get pretty.
Ross shows up in a lot of stuff.
But he's not. He's not the Secretary of State there.
Right. Somewhat. I mean, here is a mirror of how he entered in Infinity War. He comes out of the little deal, and he shows up and gets cut down to size.
I don't even think he had a line. I'm not even sure.
He didn't.
He did not have a line.
He did not
have
have
a line.
Wondering.
I was wondering, are they going to get this guy for whatever line? Nope. No lines. No time for lines. And isn't it appropriate that there is balance?
Yes.
There is balance here. Thanos would be happy that he was killed with balance.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are, at the time of this thing, are visiting the Sovereign. So there it is in the movie, and there it is in the
What If. Yeah.
In What If, yeah. Pretty cool. Batista says he doesn't want to do this anymore because he doesn't want to be in movies where he has no shirt on for the entire movie. I sympathize with that. I mean, the guy is not 25 years old anymore, but
they could put some clothing on that character.
He's in pretty good shape.
They could.
I mean,
if I was in this shape, you couldn't get a shirt on me. I would fight people. I'd be like, I'm not wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear a shirt in this.
I'm Dave Bautista.
I'm not wearing a shirt.
I mean, come on, we're about the same age. I might be a little bit older than you, and you look a lot better than me without a shirt.
I mean,
trust
dude.
me. Trust me.
I've been watching finally Army of the Dead, and he's really good in that. Listen, Batista's a guy who has a lot more range than people give him credit for.
Oh, yeah.
He was really, ironically, he was really good in the little Blade Runner 2049 short that he did, which was about a 15-minute thing where it focused solely on his character. Batista's a very good actor, folks. He is a guy. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the guy can act. The guy can really act.
What's that latest commercial he's in where he's in the boat?
Yes, the streamer.
Oh, yeah.
He's the world's greatest streamer.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't know it was Dave Bautista, you
He's
wouldn't
got
know it was Dave Bautista.
That wig. He's got
the wig, and he's acting so goofy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't suspect. I mean, the guy's got range, and he takes his roles very seriously.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Very seriously. I mean, he wants to be known as an actor.
Yeah.
And I guess he kind of feels like, real actors don't show up with no shirt. Yeah, he was excellent in Blade Runner. I mean, he wasn't in it enough. I mean,
But
that was
it
a
was
three.
good.
That's
Yeah.
a 3 damn hour movie, but he wasn't in it enough. he made. I mean, like all great actors, he made the most of what role
Of
he
what-
was
what he was in.
given there, and yeah, he was really wonderful in that. And anyway, I'm a big fan of Batista. Not really an Easter egg. This was front and center, but here is Korg,
Korg.
who is
On Sakaar.
fighting in Sakaar, right, right during his days. Much more serious. Captain Marvel
I love that line.
calls
Yeah.
Ultron Skynet,
Yeah.
and again, I love this version of Captain Marvel 100 times more than the version that
Yes.
Can we get whoever's writing this to write Captain Marvel in the future, please?
And
Please.
And the thing, and I really don't think it needs a sequel. That was a great line.
Well, yeah, a little dig at the
Yeah,
46 million
46
sequels.
million sequels that
to
three,
Terminator.
3, 4, and 5.
Yep, all the crazy. Yeah, two
Although
was
I
quite
can-
brilliant, but
I can live with 3, but 4 and 5 were
they should have just stopped at 3. 1, 2, and
Actually-
3.
actually
Stop.
5 was the worst. 5 was like I know you didn't.
Was that what that 5 was? Genesis, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a no, you didn't. Yeah. This was another line I liked.
And this
the
is great.
second they showed that hallway, I thought this looks like it's from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So it was really funny for them to just go, okay, yeah, it's from,
and
this is from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
This is a huge Easter egg because it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then for you on Disney Plus, hey, there's that Lucasfilm property over there, which I
Right.
got a feeling we're going to have
Yep.
one of those tabs one of these days.
If you haven't seen it,
It's going to say Indiana Jones. So I got a
please
feeling.
bring
I
it
got a
on.
feeling we're going to have an Indiana Jones universe coming out of Lucasfilms sooner or later. So
I don't look.
Isn't Indy owned by
Can I-
Universal though?
Paramount.
Can I go on a?
Okay.
Can I go on a tangent?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Instead of doing another, and let me preface this by saying that I am the biggest Harrison Ford fan on the planet. There is no bigger Harrison.
I know
Ford
where you're
fan.
going with this, and I agree with you.
Is there a possibility that we could just reset the Indiana Jones universe with another actor, like let's say Chris Pratt, and go back to the 30s and get some Nazis again, and have him, back
keep
during
it-
that period of time, please?
I mean, if we can have different James Bonds,
Why can't we have
Over.
different Indies?
why
Of
can't we
course.
have different indies?
And I mean, we're going to, as much as I love Harrison Ford, he will not last forever.
I mean, he's already
I
hurt himself again.
I don't want a 90-year-old. I don't want him to do what Clint Eastwood is doing. Except, I mean, Clint Eastwood is still not playing Dirty Harry. Okay,
Right.
I mean, at least he's not doing that. He's still acting and stuff, but he's not. He's not the man with no name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
he's moving on with his stuff. Harrison Ford will not be the only Indiana Jones. There will be other Indiana Jones.
I think Harrison said that this one is the last movie that he had wanted to do one more to basically wrap up Indy's storyline.
I mean,
Which I hope he sticks
I felt
with
like
that.
the third movie did that quite well.
Yeah.
I did too.
I mean, he got with Marion.
Even though the first movie was supposed to have been his last adventure.
Yes. Yes. Harrison Ford has a very strange thing. Like early in his career, he's like, I'm not touching these characters. He wanted out of Han Solo after Star Wars.
Yep.
That's why he was frozen. Spoiler alert. That's why he was frozen in carbonite in The Empire Strikes Back. Because
Yeah, 'cause I
Lucas
didn't know
thought,
what
I'm
they-
not going to have him around for the next movie, so I
Right.
want to be able to easily write him out. And he was like, he should have died in the third movie and stuff. And he's been, and then of course he shows up for the sequel movies and stuff. He said he wasn't going to get back into Blade Runner, and he showed up for the Blade Runner 2049. Spoiler alert for that. And then
Because when you start hearing that in your ears, that
I love him in these things. You know what? He could play his dad in a new series, in a new Indiana Jones series.
There you
or
go.
something.
There you go.
I mean, there's ways of including him in the thing, but I mean, look, Harrison Ford is the same age that my dad was. My dad should not be doing action films. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, that was a funny line in that thing. Thank you for allowing me to get off of this. Okay, hey, so
I loved the Red Guardian.
if
shield.
you
That was
saw
great.
the Black Widow movie, you know that Red Guardian is her dad, and she finds the Red Guardian shield in this thing.
Now,
How
adoptive
cool.
dad. So
Right. How cool and appropriate.
Oh yeah.
She readopted him, so I'll
Yeah.
stick with that. But yes, you're right. This is not. He wasn't the biological dad. But anyway, cool shield, and then here it is. Here he is, and then there's his
it's action
action
figure.
figure
Yep.
with the shield. Pretty cool.
And you know what? It looked good. It looked good on her too.
Yeah, it fit pretty
Oh,
good.
is this my color?
I thought that was pretty
Right.
funny.
My color?
Clint didn't take that so well. Clint wanted to. Clint obviously.
Clint was done.
He
Clint
was
was over it.
Yeah.
And depressingly done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was another one that got me.
Yeah.
Brendan says that there is a Young Indie series and it was just okay. Yeah, I remember. And who it was
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix.
Well, no,
Who-
River Phoenix.
Oh, he was in the movie.
He was in the movie.
There was
and
another
then
kid
had
who
another
was
actor that
Young
did
Indie.
the series. Yeah.
I mean, all I can remember from the Young Indie series is I watched one episode and I never watched another episode.
It was
I wanted to see
It was
I
a missed
wanted-
opportunity.
Yeah,
It
I
was.
wanted to see an adult Indiana Jones, but not a geriatric Indiana.
Sean Patrick Flannery in the
Yeah.
1990s series.
Yeah.
Who is that? What else was he in?
Well,
He's
He
been
went
in
on-
some other things.
He went on to do some other stuff.
Boondock
Clint-
Saints,
There you go.
Powder.
There you go.
Suicide Queens,
Yeah, Boondock
Pow-
Saints is what I was.
Powder's the one I remember him.
Okay. Yep. That. Yep.
I know him from Boondock. Yeah.
Clint does, despite being depressed, he does get a zinger in here about Nat the Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
From.
I have to say this
There you go.
episode.
Sean with the Boondocks.
This episode was definitely
Powder.
chock full of great one-liners between
Yeah.
It was.
and Nat.
Yeah. How about
so
Zola
so here's
being
my
resurrected in this?
here's my take on this scene when they go and find Arnim Zola.
Right. There's the thing from.
What's his
Which one was it?
That's from Civil War.
Civil War?
Civil War. There you go.
So what's his name? Oh, the villain who was in Civil War. Crap, I can't remember his name now.
Nemo.
Zemo.
Yeah.
Zemo. Baron Zemo.
Yep.
I would have to say has a copy of Arnim Zola.
I wouldn't be surprised with that.
Because if
Okay.
Arnim Zola was there, and
That was a good case of taking a guy who was a bad guy and bringing him back and making him an ally for a while
yeah.
in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Operation Paperclip.
So I have a feeling.
People were like sharing memes of that guy dancing.
Yeah, I have.
That's
a feeling,
how much that they, brought him back.
I have a feeling when
great acclaim.
when Baron Zemo comes back because of this little nugget right here.
Right. That he's
He's-
got this.
He's got a copy of Arnim Zola.
I mean, there it is. If they introduce this in that, then I'd say that there's probably a good chance that, he's floating
All right,
around there
you two.
in our universe as well. What?
There's a continuity error in this scene.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
There's actually it's the continuity error is actually in the scene before it when they're looking for the files.
Okay.
Nat makes the comment about her and Steve running into this guy before.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Age of Ultron before Civil War?
Yes, it was.
Ah. That's a good catch. That's a good catch, Beth.
Oh wait,
Uh,
hang on.
That's not
Yeah,
the
it was.
only. That's not the only potential
Wasn't it
continuity error that
before-
they have in this
But-
episode.
Wasn't it before Winter Soldier?
But you also have to understand also as well that this is what if, and they could have.
That's true.
That's
They
true.
could have run into Arnim Zola doing something else.
That is absolutely true.
Look at something. Now I'm questioning myself.
My continuity error that I have is
Actually,
that we were.
Actually, no, they ran into Arnim Zola in Winter Soldier. So,
Oh, okay. Well, then that was
in Winter
earlier,
Soldier,
I think. Okay, my continuity error is that Ultron takes the Infinity Stones and incorporates them into his body.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Loki series, we were told that once you get outside of your universe, that they are basically paperweights, and yet he went through many universes with these stones.
But it wasn't. It wasn't if you go out of the universe. It was if you went to wherever the TVA, wherever the TVA is located. That's
All
where
right.
they don't work.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And Sean does bring up.
Sean
a good point.
says not necessarily Steve met him in Germany in World War II, and Nat may have had interaction as Black Widow. There you go. I mean that's one of those things that's
because Winter Soldier has happened
kind of easily explained away one way or the other.
I was waiting to see if we were going to actually see Bucky in Siberia.
Apparently, in the comics, his name is Francis, so they brought that up here, which is pretty funny.
Meemaw.
After my Meemaw.
Okay, so just
she goes Meemaw.
Right.
That made me laugh because that's what I'm going to be called is Meemaw.
Yeah, the death of Clint was a mirror of the death of Natasha in Endgame.
Yep.
Which we had there's her pose in the movie.
Yeah.
And once again,
she's done that
pose
in every appearance we've had of her in this. She's done that pose.
Yep.
Yeah, except now she's got the shield, which works quite well.
It looks like the pose is now complete with the shield.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for the shield.
Yeah.
The pose is now complete.
Yes.
Long live
you, I was but to learn.
Long live Jumpy.
They're saying that this is kind of an allusion to Galactus here, where you have like Ultron
devouring,
literally eating the universe,
or a galaxy, or
right,
still.
or a galaxy, right? Yeah, beautifully illustrated Clint sacrifice, and you know he was ready to go. I mean, this is obviously a guy who's had a lot of. When he loses his family, he's done.
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much what did it.
Clint clearly needs his family. If Clint doesn't have his family, he's out. He's out. He's done.
He goes from being Hawkeye to Ronin.
I mean, I get it exactly. He just doesn't really care after that.
And then in this one, there's even no reason to be Ronin. So
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Walt mentioned this earlier. Steve Rogers as president. That sounds like a pretty good idea.
And
I'd vote for Steve Rogers.
What gets me on this is this Evil Empire Steve Rogers or just Steve Rogers?
Right. Is this Hydra?
Yeah.
Is this Hydra agent Steve Rogers?
Yeah.
Or, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Now, I would love to see that in What If.
Oh,
I think there's probably a good chance that we're going to get that.
I got a feeling we're going to get that too.
Yeah, especially since you're probably not going to get Captain America, in the movies anymore. Yeah. They have plenty of room to explore all of those extra little dangling storylines that they have.
Hey, Chris Evans said that, he was open to coming back in certain circumstances, and I could see him coming back to play Steve as Hydra Steve.
Yeah.
He could come back as old Steve Rogers. He didn't pass at the end of that thing. He's an old version. And anytime that they do, time traveler stuff, you could certainly pick up, Captain America in the past.
Yeah. Or Loki,
for example,
deciding to be Cap.
You're right.
Well, right. Once again,
It's the
we
pineapple
get
t-shirt.
the pineapple shirt dude. Whoever's on this detail is catching it every time. Pineapple shirt dude again.
We need to go. One of us needs to go back and watch them from the beginning to see if Pineapple Shirt Dude's in every one.
In every episode, yeah.
Which would actually be funny if he was.
It certainly was. Yeah, Sean says maybe that'll happen in season 2.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about your final thoughts on this episode, folks.
Whew. Wow.
Yeah.
And where do you think they're going next episode?
I do believe we are going to get, like, people have, I don't know if they'll be called this, but I do believe we're going to get our Guardians of the Multiverse, sort of thing. You know what else?
I feel
it's
like we're
kind
going
of
to
set
get.
up that way, yeah.
And you know what? And I'm going to think even further into the future here, because we're supposed
to get my Nebula back.
I don't know about that, but since the upcoming phases, we're supposed to be getting, nuggets of X-Men throughout the rest of these movies. I would say sometime, depending on how long they take What If, we will get the Exiles.
That would be nice to see.
The Exiles were from different dimensions or different.
They were mutants
Universes?
from different dimensions, and they were different versions of mutants that we know. So
I only vaguely remember those. I did pick up a few of those comics.
So what was her name? Blink. Blink was the main character from Age of Apocalypse.
Yep.
Right.
And then we
liked
got
that Age of Apocalypse stuff. That was pretty cool stuff, actually.
And then we got the Age of Apocalypse morph from.
I'm not talking about the Fox movie.
Right.
I'm definitely not talking about the Fox movie.
No. So
talking about the comics, kids.
Right. So I got a feeling somewhere down the line we're going to get the Exiles from this. And that's me thinking way into the future.
This would be a good place as any to explore that. I'm wondering when they're going to, because they have yet to really drop anything about the X-Men.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like somewhere in the next couple, either the Spider-Man movie,
they
or
had
the
a
Doctor
character
Strange movie that we're probably going to get.
They had a character in Black Widow that's known as an X-Men villain in the prison scene. So that was our first nugget. That was our first X-Men nugget. So.
I kind of feel like, because the X-Men were supposed to, kind of be around forever. You could justify them being in by saying we're mixing a couple of universes together, like they were around in another universe, and now we're blending universes.
We should have already had the X-Men because Wolverine was one of
the
original Avengers.
Exactly. You're going to have a hard time explaining Wolverine.
Yeah.
If he was supposed to be back in the 1800s.
Yeah, we should have already had him.
He should have been around.
And then again, there's other things, like for instance, we're getting the Eternals who set back and watch. I mean, you could still even do it that way. So
they've explained them because they were sidelined because of those deviants. Is that what they call it?
Right.
That's their excuse for those characters. But anytime that you introduce anyone else now, you're going to have an excuse for them to not be involved when Thanos comes in to destroy the Earth.
And if you think about it, also, if they do introduce the X-Men and introduce them proper, we could be seeing the emergence of mutants. Like the mutants are just now starting to emerge, and we get like that first we'll actually get the first team of X-Men. Yeah. Younger kids, young Cyclops, there probably won't be a
Angel.
There's not going to be a Wolverine in the group or anything.
Marvel Girl.
Wolverine comes later in the X-Men comics, but again, there's the issue with he should have already been part of the Avengers.
Unless he was successfully under radar, I guess you could.
Yeah. I mean, we can find ways. MCU can find ways around it.
I don't know about him already being in the Avengers, but
he was one of the original members.
Not really.
Sean says that James McAvoy has stated interest in reprising Professor X.
Now, we do know that Wolverine had because he was part of Alpha Flight.
Which actually they could do it that way then. They could actually introduce the X-Men into Alpha Flight first. I forgot about Alpha Flight.
Sean also, to me, suggested that McAvoy would make a good Wolverine.
I'd like
he's short.
McAvoy, right?
He's short.
He's a great actor, too.
I would like to see McAvoy, and out of those movies, McAvoy and Fassbender I would love to see in these. I think they could transition very easily.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I do.
Magneto very easily.
I like Fassbender quite a bit, too.
I do, too. I love his Magneto.
I think that if you read the comics, that they have kind of a backdoor way of introducing the mutants kind of out of the blue in this newest run of the X-Men. They say that Moira, who is Professor X's girlfriend,
Moira McTaggart,
yes, she all the time, spoiler alert if you haven't read these comics, they said that she was actually a mutant, and that her power was to look at, like, she knew, she was kind of like a watcher, where she could see all of these different universes and the way things were evolving, and she had the power to reset the universe. Okay?
They go with that, then
and so
that would work really well.
So the latest version of her resetting the universe is convincing both Magneto and Professor X, instead of butting heads, to work together, which is how you get all of the X-Men in Genosha, and then
to leaving the planet,
negotiating with the rest of the planet and saying, we're going to do our own thing over here, and you guys are going to leave us alone, or we're going to come kick your ass. So
you know, in a way, they kind of set that up with the ending of Dark Phoenix. Spoiler alert!
I have not seen that, unfortunately. But
yeah, they did.
I heard such terrible things about it. I wasn't too anxious. Anyway, using that routine, they could say, "Oops, she reset the universe, and now we got mutants." Where before we didn't.
Yeah, because in Dark Phoenix, do you want me to say anything about it, Dirk?
Sean says Fassbender was Magneto. He was perfect. Yeah, he was. Yeah. I mean,
he was
super awesome Magneto on every deal. You can talk about it. It's fine.
So, Dark Phoenix sets up Genosha.
In the film, really?
In the film, yeah.
That's interesting.
Because Jean goes to Eric looking for sanctuary, and Eric's like, no, get the hell out of here.
All right.
He's at that point where he's trying to establish a conclave of mutants where everybody leaves them alone like he wanted to in the first place. And she shows up and it causes problems. And then by the end of the movie, we've seen Professor X walk away from the school. Hank is in charge of the school. And the very last scene of the movie is we see Eric walking to Charles in, I think it's Paris.
Yeah.
With the chessboard, and basically inviting Charles, or telling Charles, you have a home. You can, basically telling him, you can come to Genosha. They've set it up.
All right. Well, there you go. And, we know that Deadpool is going to arrive in the MCU intact.
Yep.
In some ways, he's going to be the continuity issue, which is perfect for that character.
Intact is questionable when it comes to Deadpool. Just saying.
Right?
I mean, let's think about, was it the second Deadpool movie or the first one they're fighting on a shield helicarrier.
It's
in
the first
in
one.
Oh,
It's
that's
the first one. The
Yeah,
final
That's why
scene.
that works. Yeah, that's why that works so well. Is because they
Yeah.
were poking at
Yeah, we
being
know
in the MCU from the beginning of that.
A
So if they
mothballed helicarrier.
if they drag Deadpool into this, then they're probably going to drag in then Colossus, and
Yeah, it would be a shame not to get
Warhead. I
that
had
version.
to stop and
Yeah,
think of her name.
Yeah.
And they played with us a little bit in WandaVision by bringing their version, the Fox version of Quicksilver into the universe
Yeah,
as
Evan Peters
another
Quicksilver.
person. But
Right.
again, was it another person, or we don't really know? We
It was
really don't
Agatha
know.
all along.
Well, no, it was another person, but he was under Agatha's influence. So
So it could very well be a Quicksilver from another universe.
Anyway,
no,
I'm
it was
okay
lot
with
of-
that Quicksilver.
it was
lot of-
it was Boner.
a lot of ways that they could bring the X-Men in, and What If is a good example of how they can kind of explore some of that.
Yeah.
They are greasing, no matter what they're doing, they are greasing the skids for us to have, universe shaking changes be
Yeah.
absolutely part of continuity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
they're proving it, right? They're showing
Yep.
exactly,
And they're
Like I
doing
said,
it quite fine. They're doing it quite well.
Yep.
yeah,
they
it's
are.
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I agree. This was easily one of their best episodes. And I think for most people, they probably will enjoy this episode the most. Again, because you get like a super powerful Ultron, which all of the kids out there can talk about. They can add him to the fight questions.
Infinity Ultron. Ultron Infinity. That's
I
what
like
we're
that.
calling it.
I like that.
Ultron Infinity.
Yep.
I actually like the part, and this is something that made me chuckle, is when the Watcher says, and it makes me laugh every time when he starts comparing the differences, and he says, "In your universe," and I just start laughing. 'Cause it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, not really. You mean in the cinematic universe?
Yeah.
You're not even mentioning 616. So
Oh God,
Right.
let's not even get that one even going yet.
Yeah.
Jeez.
so
All right, guys. I think that's about it for this episode. Let's do some promo time. What do you think?
all right.
Sure.
Let's start off with Beth.
So let's see, what do I got going on? Working through the next book called Beyond the Steps of Stone, sci-fi romance. Dirk has actually started reading it as a beta reader. Looking to have that published by November.
It's pretty cool.
He likes it. I will be at the Galveston Island Book Festival November 19th. If you're out in the area, come see me. It'll be over by the old post office.
When is that?
November 19th. So I think it's from like 2 in the afternoon to 8 p.m. So, and then if you're looking for my books, you can find them at bethanfreely.com. If you are looking for a book editor or someone to design a website for you, you can find those services at themusesfunhouse.com. I have also started a Patreon, which I believe I put on this ticker. Yeah, there it is. So if you want to support an indie author, I would appreciate your support. You'll get a whole bunch of little goodies and stuff. There's tiers ranging from $3 to $20, and all the help you can give me would be great. I've got book covers that are costing me an arm and a leg right now coming up, so any help you can give me would be awesome. You can check out my Twitter at BA Freely and also my Instagram at BA Freely, and I'm also on Facebook. That's what I got.
She has done a new episode of Book Crew, and it's 100% my fault that it's not up yet. I will put it up. I'll put it up either.
You wanted to.
I will put it up either later on this evening or tomorrow. So watch this space right here on YouTube for the next episode of Beth's. What's the topic on that episode?
Know your worth as a writer, and really, this
great
this
episode.
This
Great
episode
topic.
applies to not just writers, but
I was about to say,
creative.
oh man, what a great topic for yeah, for anyone who's in the creative industry, I got every time I put out a new piece of artwork, I get some people who will usually ask for commissions or something. Like each commission kind of leads to more commissions and stuff. This time, for some reason, maybe I worded things wrong or something. I'm not exactly sure. Like 2 different people, or like one person sent me a picture of their legs, and they're like, "Hey, you could draw my legs," and and I'm like, "Thank you, but I'm only taking commissioned work right now. I'm trying to make a living doing this." And so, I have to charge for these sort of things. If you want me to draw pictures of your legs, I have I have a black and white version that's $75. Dig into your pocket. And then I had someone else send me a picture of someone. He was submissive to a dominatrix, and it's like, what do you think about this picture? And it's like, well, she's very attractive. Well, would you might want to draw her or something. And it's like, dude, I have enough in my mind and on my plate to keep me busy until long after I pass. If I live to 1,000 years old, I have enough things to draw. I promise you. I don't need people to send me pictures of things randomly to draw. I can if I had $10 million in my bank account right now, I promise you, I would never have to ask for things to draw. So anyway, knowing your worth as a creator, whether it's writer or artist, it is exceptionally important I don't know why people think that artists and writers enjoy doing crap for them for free. If I found out that someone does, they're a car mechanic, and I don't know them, it's like they're not a relative, right? Or a friend, like a close friend. This is someone I've never talked to before in my life, and they go, "Hey, by the way, I just fixed my car because I'm a car mechanic." What in there? No one would think, "Hey, I'm going to contact this guy and say, hey, would you like to fix my car for free?"
Exactly.
This is a skill that you have. It's a skill that I don't have. I appreciate your ability to do this thing. How about if you do it for me for free? What is it about art and writing that make people think that you have the time to do that? I mean, are they not? Do they think that you can turn out a piece of artwork in 15 minutes?
It's the same thing.
It's like a small thing.
Unfortunately, that's part of it. They don't understand what it takes to write a book, what it takes to draw a piece of artwork and color it.
Even writing a page of something could take potentially, if you have to do research on it, you have to edit the damn thing. I mean, I have to tell you, even just writing a page of something will take an hour or 2 of your time.
It's the same thing with employers. I mean,
of your time.
I mean, it took me to lose a job to find out that I was severely being underpaid for what I do.
Of course. Yeah, even if you are paid, you're probably exactly
underpaid.
I mean, I can promise you, if I break down how much I make per hour based on what I charge, I'm making, McDonald's wages.
Yeah, I mean,
for doing stuff that other
told,
people can't do it. No one can do my art.
Yeah,
I mean, other people do art.
Yeah,
but no one can do my art. I'm the only person on the planet that can produce this thing. So my way. So, pay me what I'm worth. That's part of what, I don't know if that's the subject of your deal, but anyway.
It's part of it. It's a small part of it. It's a small part of it. And
Brendan
honestly,
says tears or tears, T-E-A-R-S.
It's both.
Always both, dude.
Always both. Because if you
always both.
Yes. Oh, because
holy cats.
When there's nothing coming in, it's tears.
So much tears. So much tears, folks. You guys don't realize.
Dirk can attest to the fact that I said to him after I got just the first round of tears on the Patreon done, I said to him, I was like, my brain hurts. Okay. I was just about in tears, but.
And she has 1,076 tears on her Patreon.
I have 1,076 tears. I have 4 tiers for readers, and then I have 3 tiers for anyone who's looking for help getting their books edited, or even just writing them. So there's that as well.
Hey, by the way, seriously, if you're interested in, if you're going to put out a Patreon page or something, and you're interested in how the heck do I construct this stuff, go, if nothing else, go to Beth's Patreon account and see how she structures her tiers, but more importantly, how she writes them. Because the way that she writes those tiers is really top notch. If you want to know if she's a good writer or not, read her tiers.
Thank you.
They're exceptionally well written. They're exceptionally well written. So
they'll have you in tears.
Right.
They might have you in tears.
Sean says that I never charge enough. I'm getting there, but I don't want to raise it to the point where no one's interested. Like I can't, I mean, I gotta go with the demands of the market, and I'm trying to get my stuff. I'm still evolving as an artist, and I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to Henry Ford my process
it's a
so
learning
that
curve.
I can, so that I can, produce the same quality of work in a shorter amount of time, and I'm getting there. But I'm also still getting better, and I want to continue to get better. I don't want to, so I'm doing kind of two things at the same time.
But
if
again,
I can get it.
But again, Dirk, don't be afraid to charge a higher amount, because
Everything that I am doing is higher than it was even a year ago.
Dirk, just go watch the podcast, all right? Just go
I will
watch it and put it up, and you'll
put it up, watch it. And
All right. Well, anyway, go see her Patreon account. Even if you just want to see how to do a Patreon account.
And hey, there's a $3 tier. If you don't want anything from me, you just want to support me, there is a $3 tier on there. 3 months at $3, that's $9.
I
may
am
not
moving.
be able to do much, but I can.
I'm moving my thing over to Patreon as well, because I launched on Subscribestar, and it's like to crickets. So I'm rebuilding over on Patreon, and we'll see what happens there. I don't know. It may not be the platform. It may be the user. So
Do I need to write your tiers?
okay.
you are certainly welcome to go take a look at it and tell me, what you would say, because it could help.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both of you, get them up and
Please.
I'll take a look at them for you.
Yep, please.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with you too.
I'm gonna have to do some research on the
I
Patreon
feel
for
like-
myself.
I feel like I should have more subscribers to
But
the thing than
you
what
two
I got.
already know what I'm experimenting with, so
Oh yeah.
we'll get we'll
We're
get into
going to
that.
talk
in the
about
future.
that after the shoot.
Yeah, we'll get into that later on.
Hey,
in the future.
speaking to that, do you want to
there you
do
go.
this? You want to do the crawl?
Yeah,
or
there
do
you go. There's the crawl. So right now, I would say the best place where you can see some of my really, really good stuff or keep up with my good stuff would be my Facebook page, which is Facebook Walter Cons. In fact, I've got some new stuff that I posted on there that I'm working on a comic sketch cover.
There's much more coffee in this than I thought. I keep thinking I'm hitting the last swig, and it's like, oh my god, I'm going to drown.
There's 3 swigs. You can also catch me at the Blogger at my blog spot, which it'll come up here on the scroll. I can never remember it off the top of my head, but so there's the Facebook.com WhatWalterCons. There's my WhatStudioArt.blog spot. You can find me playing video games every once in a while at twitch.tv/Gatchaman_1. That Gatchaman_1 is also my Instagram, by the way. You can also buy some really cool swag from my What Studio store on Zazzle.com. So if you just go onto Zazzle.com and do a search for What Studio, you'll find me. But most of all, like I said, if I'm open for commissions just as Dirk is. You can see my commission pricing on the Facebook page. I'm very open to that right now. So the big thing that I'm doing right now that people are requesting are pet portraits. So if you know someone who would like a portrait of their pet, now's the time to get in for Christmas. So
Can we talk? Absolutely. Can we talk a little bit about strategy here? Are you still going to, what's the name of that app? I want to say Nextdoor.
The next door. I haven't been there in a while because in order for me to advertise there, I have to make a business page.
That's
and
what
your
I was.
Yeah,
and
same
your
here.
business page has to have an address.
Yep.
And I do not want people coming to my house, so I'm saving up to get a PO box. Right now, I can't afford to get a PO box.
I
So
understand.
that would
I'd
make
say you could
things-
use mine, but it would completely screw it up because you want local
Right.
people.
Right. So that would help out quite a bit if anybody could hit me up for some commissions, because I take payment via Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle.
Walt, do you have that cami piece?
Actually,
Arm's
do.
length?
I do have it right here. So
Would you pull that up and show it? I'm going to bring you up full because I want people to see this, and I'm going to talk about you for a minute.
So I'm doing I decided I've got a stack of sketch covers that I haven't touched, I've never touched. And I decided that I was going to do one, and I picked the one at the top of the stack, which happened to be Street Fighter Legends issue #1 Cammy. And I decided, I said, I'm going to do a warm-up sketch, and I decided to do a warm-up sketch on the backing board on the comic. And this is what I've got going right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Dude,
That was awesome.
as the kids say, that slaps.
That slaps. That's bananas, man. Bananas. So
That is
This
good
is-
stuff, man.
this
Yeah.
is what I've done, and eventually when I get the sketch cover, and I started on the sketch cover today. I finally broke down and started on that. I can't show off the pose on that one. The pose for that is not safe for work because
All right.
I got onto Figurosity. So,
Okay. Very cool.
but I did not know, and you can see the cover right here. This is it. I didn't know it was a wraparound cover. So I am having to it's going to be a wraparound cover front and back. And when I get it done, it will be up for purchase. So
What is Figurosity?
it is in fact, I have to thank Sean for introducing me to this. And I got an ad for it on Facebook, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a Figurosity thing. So, a few days ago we were talking about the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And I think what these guys did is they have a collection, I should say, a library of figure poses
Oh,
of
okay.
all shapes and sizes,
Okay.
races and
Yeah, yeah.
creeds. And you can go in, you can say you want superhero poses, and you can select women. You can select, say you want heavy set people, men and women, heavy set. And you can and it gives you this list of poses. And you can do what they call, if you're back in the art school days, where you do your figures, like 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute figures.
Yeah.
You can set it to do a timer, and it'll put up a figure, and you can do a quick sketch, and it'll switch to the next.
Okay, I think he mentioned
So-
that to me as well.
Right. So,
But I
you
thought
can-
it was. Is that connected to? There's a YouTube page, and I cannot remember the name of it.
there's a YouTube page as well. I
where
do believe.
is it connected to that then?
Uh,
Because they had a deal where they would do the old school figure drawing stuff where they'd put someone up for whatever,
Yeah.
1 minute at a time,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
3 minutes, then 5, and then
you can do that on the website.
right. Oh, okay, cool.
And you can also change the figures from full figure with clothing or whatever, and then you can do nude, and then you can do where it's all muscle tone. So if you're trying to get the muscle structure down on your poses, you can just switch it over to muscle, and there's the muscle, and then there's just blank, where it's just a blank, model.
Like
So I went through. This is my last day for the free thing, and so I went through and I did a whole bunch of screen captures.
Sean says it's all free.
It's fire.
Oh.
It's fire. He
It's
says
not
fire.
free.
It's not. You can get the first 3 days for free, but I think after that it's like $3 a month or something.
Oh my
like that.
God.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So
He says
it's fire. It's a really good website for figure poses, and like I said, you can get them in superhero.
This is relevant
outfits.
to my interests.
Yeah, check it out. Definitely. And you can rotate the figures. So, you can do a top view, a worm view,
Dude, that's
flat, straight view,
that is bananas.
360 rotation.
That could change my life.
It's changed mine. It's changed mine.
Good stuff, man.
You're welcome.
Since we're talking about Sean, there's Sean's stuff. Right
Yeah,
there.
check Sean out.
He's at rankingstudios.com/Sean-Wilson.
Wilson. That's a tongue twister.
Go to rankingstudios.com. You can see my stuff. You can see Sean's stuff there. Sean did that Task Force Geek logo. He will do a logo for you.
He will do. He does very good logos.
He does
Yes.
very good logos. He's also an excellent illustrator. If you want to check him out, you might as well. There's his deets. You can also see him on Tuesday night on our regular show. We're going to get everyone in here. Okay, there's my stuff. I'm going to be at OFCON this weekend. I'll be there on Saturday and Sunday. It starts at 10 a.m. OFCON is free. It's in Norman, Oklahoma. It's right off the highway at the Embassy Suites. It is solely a comic convention.
What's that highway?
If you are into cosplay, if you're into celebrities, if you're into additional stuff, which is perfectly fine, do not come to this convention. It's about comics. It's only about comics. So if you are into comics, you are in for a treat. And this is a stalwart institution here in Oklahoma. It has been around for a long time. It is a continuation of Bart's original idea of just loving and appreciating comic books. And, they give free tables to Oklahoma artists. I'm an Oklahoma artist. I got a free table.
Word.
I will be there this weekend. I will be showing. Also, I will be doing the 3 prints that I made for the Dallas convention, which is this one right here,
That one's awesome.
and the Lady Loki piece.
And so's that one.
Please don't tell Marvel Studios. And and
Well, you
also
just did.
this. I know. And there's my fancy bear, if you're into that. Also, let's see if I can get this up. There is a Kickstarter campaign going on right now for Bad Candy #3. We are fully funded, but that doesn't mean we don't need your help,
Stretch goals.
because the funding level was quite low based on a lot of different projects that I've seen on Kickstarter. So it's good to be fully funded, but with a few stretch goals, we can print some more comics. We can get some more assets printed, maybe some posters or prints, or I almost knocked over my drink onto my keyboard, folks.
No.
That's not cool.
You can offer all sorts of extras.
We can offer extras, but more importantly, look, when you're doing independent comics and stuff, anytime that you can overprint your stuff, the next time you go to conventions, you can have some extra, not just fulfill the people who bid on this thing, you can also put them in the hands of other people and hopefully expand your reach, which is, obviously what Robert's trying to do. So please go over there and support us. There's the deal. Just go to Kickstarter, type in Bad Candy, and you will find it. Please. Sean says he's full of resources. So there you go.
That's it.
I had a joke for that, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Without further opinion, we will just let that be. Hey, look, this was a good episode of What If, and I think that they're going to go out with a bang. I feel like we're going to get a hell of a final episode next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
I'll say one last thing about that as well.
Yeah.
We're still owed one more episode with Black Panther.
Yes, we are.
Do you think it's possible that they're going to slip an extra episode in at the end?
No,
You think
but,
he's going to show up in the next episode?
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
He may be part of your galaxy.
I mean, we
whatever,
still haven't.
multiverse galaxy. Group.
We still haven't heard. We still haven't seen Chadwick Boseman's last episode for What If. So this is it.
It's kind of makes it kind of special, doesn't it?
It's super special.
To get this stuff out of him.
Yeah.
You know, after the fact. Yeah.
So
good stuff, and all of the stuff with him has been great. Yeah, it's been really good. A fitting tribute, I feel. All right. So look, we had a lot of people check in today. I sure appreciate that. People that visit us and check in, and particularly those that comment, we sure do appreciate it. So thanks to Brendan and to I was going to mention something about Brendan. I did a piece of artwork for it was a Blood Bowl piece that I shared not too terribly long ago, and hopefully you guys saw that. I don't have that up right now, but I did a Blood Bowl piece for him that he put on a limited edition box for people who play Blood Bowl. He sold out of all of those at Chaos Cup in Chicago. Awesome. He said he could have sold another 5 or 6 if he'd had them with him. So that's really cool, and he has asked me to do another piece for him.
Cool.
So I will be doing another piece, and he's going to put that on another box, and I'm very excited about that. So thanks to Brendan for commissioning my work, and thanks to the people who bought that box, which is pretty cool. It's neat to get stuff sold. It's one thing to create it; it's another thing to have it printed and sell out on them. So that's awesome. Anyway, thanks to everyone who chimed in today, including Brendan, including Ryan, and Sean as always, and
Mom,
and absolutely who supports us on Tuesday night and supports us on Thursday. And if we just happen to show up at another time, she's there for that, and we do appreciate that always. And also thanks to Beth and to Walt for being here today. And thanks to everyone for watching us. We sure do appreciate it. And of course,
peanut butter.
And peanut butter.
Thanks to all of you. And until next time, this is Dark Hooper saying, Dream Hard.